everyone! Today we'll be talking about Flutter. Woo! When you guys hear Flutter, what do you guys think about? Flute! Like instrument. So what else? Skipping? Ah, Flutter! A web dev. Wing. Google? Ah! Skipping. Oh shoot, sorry, I can't spell skipping. My heart flutters when my favorite streamer says my name. That other armpit lover. Someone mispronouncing flower. Oh, that can be one. Wings of a butterfly, a bird. Wings. That's true. And then Google. Actually, Snack, you're too smart. Don't give up. Don't give the answer. So let's talk about what Flutter is. It's an open source UI software development kit created by Google. It is used to develop cross-platform applications for Android, iOS, Linux, Mac, Windows, Google Fusia? How do you pronounce this? And the web from the single code base. Only because I read the latest Android release? Oh, Fuchsia. Oh, Fuchsia. What is Google Fuchsia? First described in 2015, released in May 2017. So it's a baby, guys. It's a baby. It's a 4 years old baby. Shoot. But guys, it's smarter than me. So the first version of Flutter was known as codename Sky and ran on an Android operating system. It was unveiled at the 2015 Dart Developer Summit with the stated intent of being able to render consistently at 120 frames per second. During the keynote of Google's Developer Day in Shanghai, sorry, you guys can't see. Yeah, there you go. Buttery smooth? Really? Yeah, so what is fuchsia? Can someone answer me that question? So during the keynote of Google Developer Days in Shanghai in 2018, Google announced Flutter Release Preview 2, which is the last big release before Flutter 1.0. Ah, so it is kind of like Wings. Ah, no wonder it's like Wings. Because human eye can only see 24 FPS. Oh. So May 6th of 2020, the Dart Software Development Kit SDK in version 2.8 and the Flutter in version 1.17.0 were released, where support was added to the Metal API. What is Metal API? Like metal music? Don't troll, guys. Please don't troll. It's not even funny. Yeah, bonus points for Wings then. Improving performance on iOS devices, approximately 50%, new material widgets, and new networking track. What is Meta API? What the heck? So they released it known as Sky long time in 2015 to render consistently at 100 FPS, 120 FPS, right? Ah, way to access the GPU on phones. iPhone specifically. Okay. So March 3rd of 2021, it literally just jumped from, hey, we developed this, to, hey, 2020, it will support the Metal API. And like 7 months ago, Google released Flutter 2 during an online Flutter Engage event. This major update brought official support for web-based applications with new Canvas kit renderer and web-specific widgets. Early access desktop application support for Windows, macOS, and Linux, and improved add-to-app API. Add-to-app API. What is this? This release included sound null safety, which caused many breaking changes and issues with many extension packages. But the Flutter team included instructions to mitigate these changes as well. So the recent version that's out right now is just Flutter 2. On September 8th, 2021, the Dart SDK in version 2.14 and Flutter version 2.5 were released by Google. The update brought improvements to the Android full screen mode and the latest version of Google's material design called Material U. Dart received 2 new updates. The newest lint condition have been standardized and present as the default conditions, as well as Dart for Apple Silicon is now stable. Wow, this history just went 뭐라고? So their newest update is 34 days ago. So it's really new language, right? Wow. What is the Dart SK? Dart가 뭐야? What is Dart here? So what is SDK software development kit? Oh, this is so confusing. So for people who's like completely new to Flutter, the background story I can give you is that it's created by Google. It's a programming language, and what it's used for is programming app. So like iPhone, to make an app, a lot of language can be used. A lot of people use Flutter. So it seems that, but somehow they start mentioning about like GPUs? What? Like Metal API to improve the iOS device? Yeah, so it's like Android Studio, or I guess it's more close to React Native. So a lot of people go against React Native versus Flutter. So right now in working force, a lot of people do use React Native, but because this is created by Google, and I don't know, people have been worshipping this more, I feel like. And so so one thing that they have is that it's faster. So one thing I separately learned from app development is that because there's Android and iOS, so obviously, Android is for Samsung product or Xiaomi. I think Xiaomi actually has their own thing. But Google phone, Samsung phone, etc. And iOS is just Apple plain. You needed to program in separate languages. Back long time ago, where you know, if you usually don't create an app for one device, you usually create, if you know, you create it for Apple, you have to create it for Samsung. And so that's what's called I forgot the name of it. Is it pure language? No. But anyways, I think there's a word. But React Native came along and they were like, hey, you can use this language. If you write it, we will automatically translate it to Android and iOS, but it won't like support you as much, or support a lot of features, but it will still do a lot of things. So that's why React Native is really famous amongst workplaces. So if you like want to work at an app making company, you know, app developer, definitely would be helpful to learn React Native. What's kind of good about React Native is that if you know React, I heard it helps a lot with just kind of like a lot of the language share similar features or function, but still they do have things that's different, so it's good to separately learn React Native. But then 4 years ago, Flutter came, which is made by Google, and it's like you guys are saying Flutter is faster. So recent developers have been enjoying loving Flutter more than React Native, but I think this battle against which is better, React Native versus Flutter, people are getting a lot of, you know, like it's still debatable. So yeah, but this history page is just but does this convert your code to whatever hardware? It's supposed to. I haven't tried it yet, but my friend did use React Native to create the app that I wanted to do, and she's currently using it in both iOS, because it's being able to work on her phone, and it should work on the Android. So I'm gonna test the Android part, but yeah, it's working well for both thingy. So framework architecture. The major components of Flutter include Dart platform, Flutter engine, foundation library, design-specific widget, and Flutter development tools. This is the dev tools, right? Yeah. The Dart platform, as they say, Flutter app are written in Dart language. It's a type of language-구나. And makes use of many of the language's more advanced features. On Windows, Mac, and Linux, Flutter runs in a Dart virtual machine which features a just-in-time execution 맞구나, engine. While writing and debugging an app, Flutter used just-in-time compilation, allowing for hot reload with which modifications to source file can be injected into a running application. Flutter extends this with support for stateful hot reloads, where in most cases changes to source code are reflected immediately in the running app without requiring a restart or any loss of state. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. So Flutter is a framework written in Dart language. So you would have to know Dart language. And React Native is also a framework where you write in JavaScript. Correct me if I'm wrong. That might be wrong. But I think that's the same thing with React Native. So Flutter's engine, written primarily in C++, provides low-level rendering support using Google's Skia. What is Skia? It's like ski with a. So it seems like it's a library. Additionally, it interfaces with platform-specific SDKs, such as those provided by Android and iOS. The Flutter engine is a portable runtime for hosting Flutter applications. It implements Flutter's core libraries, including animation and graphics, file, and network I/O. What is this again? Thank you. Network of input and output. Right? Accessibility support, plugin architecture, and a Dart runtime and compile toolchain. Most developers interact with Flutter via the Flutter framework, which provides a React framework and a set of platform, layout, and foundation widgets. Wow. So foundation library written in Dart provides basic classes and functions that are used to construct applications using Flutter, such as APIs to communicate with the engines. There's also widgets. So what are these? So widget category provides a full explanation and API on the framework. So it seems that it has different frameworks, right? Oh, yeah, links if you're subbed, and I do not like people providing me with other people's YouTube to see the comparison, because then I would be just basically doing a react to a YouTube link, right? Instead of me doing stuff, which won't be anything interesting. So, widgets are generally defined in three basic types: stateful widgets, stateless widgets, and inherited widgets. Being the central class hierarchy in the Flutter framework, the three basic types of widgets are used in the construction of every Flutter application. So it seems that the widgets are kind of like different types of See, this is so confusing. When I did React Native, it wasn't this hard, but Flutter I feel like is harder. I'm not quite sure why people think Flutter is easier, right? Because that's all for Flutter that's provided on Wikipedia. But so it seems that my guess, my hypothesis of the widget is, it's like React components. So basically, if I want to create a program, or is that libraries? I think I'm getting widgets and maybe libraries confused, because when I hear about library, then I feel like it's, you use the library, you use the functions inside the library to, create what you want. And that's the same thing with widgets, no? Because, I don't know, when I use widgets for stream, it's basically a link that provides, like a React quick response라고 해야 되나? Because even like Streamlab alert system is widgets. So Flutter is used to create those alert systems? I think this language is one of the hardest concepts for me to understand. So maybe I should go check their website. Let's check their website. Usually I don't go into seeing this website, but can we quickly go over Fuchsia? So it's an open source capability-based operating system developed by Google. So it's another thing that's developed by Google. It first became known to the public when the project appeared on a self-hosted Git repository. Pink and purple mean fuchsia, which might be referred to pink, Apple's first effort at the object-oriented, and purple, the original iPhone's codename. So it's an OS. No? So back in 2016, media outlet reported on a code-based port published on GitHub. So what is this one then? Ah. Is based on a new kernel named Zircon. Dude, this is not short. Yeah, we're not going over this part. But I know you guys, there's a lot of like smart people doing this, but wait, I want to try this. It didn't even have this, so let's try this browser. So we want to do Fibonacci, okay? So it imports a package using Dart language. So here you have to learn Dart. So maybe it might be helpful if we would have learned Dart language first too. So that would be another good option to put in. Void main, and then they have final numbers, which is Fibonacci number. So I'm guessing Fibonacci number is a function since that's already embedded in the system, right? So you run the app, you have a material app, that doesn't matter, you have the title, you also have a body, right? I'm gonna do probably this, I think it's gonna pop up. And then, no, never mind, they call a class here. Whoa, it's kind of like JavaScript, actually. Because you have the main class, and then you define Fibonacci number with this. Whoa. So let's run. What happens? What's this? Oh! Woo! Oh, as I scroll down, it's work. Wait, I want to do a different one. Let's do spinning Flutter. What is? Click me. Ooh. So here you just have a main. So these are widgets that we just mentioned, right? I'm guessing single ticker provided state mix in. Wow. What? So animation, I'm guessing this is the controlling the click animation. In its state. Wow, I don't know about this part. I'm guessing it overrides something. So the animation control is that the spin thingy is 1 second, right? And then curved animation is going in a circle. Oh, initial state. So ease in and out cubic between 0 and 2. Initiate. It's initiate state. 와. 와, 나는 못하겠다. Guys, I don't think we can do Flutter. What is the other one? Counter. Run. Add 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh! It adds. This one should be easy to understand, right? Maybe we can try the counter. So counter state extends the state counter. So we created a double. I'm guessing that's kind of like an integer, right? And you start at the value starts at 0, and then you create a void, and it sets a state by increasing by 1. This is a lot of code, but I think it's not just like the code that works for the counter. I said like an integer, right? I didn't say is an integer. So yeah, you deal with number. I didn't say is. I know what it is. How would you? Yeah. Dude, I know my numbers. I did programming too. I'm not that good, but at least I know double and integer, the difference. So. So I'm guessing this part is creating this type of widget, right? This is calling this type of, like portray this ad, right? And then the value part is in the child. I'm guessing this bar is this bar, right? The body is centered. So this part widget creates the app function? The only part I got was here, right here. Yeah, so it's just a part of the website. I wonder if widget... So it's kind of like the interaction part within the app. Gosh. And you can create something like this. 7 stories found, 6 stories found. Oh. Native performance. Oh. So this all would be widget, right? This movement of, hey, click this widget. Wow. Who's using Flutter? Google, eBay, BMW, Capital One, Alibaba, Square. See what's being created. BMW's app. New app. Tencent uses Flutter? Do you? Google Assistant, Square. Groupon. Join the growing list of organizations working with Flutter. Whoa. More apps. Oh, Hamilton uses Flutter? Wow, I didn't know that. Philips used Flutter. Green Tea. New York Times. Guys, so the conclusion for today. Conclusion. Wow. I think programmers are like computer. How can they program like that, right? I guess if you want to challenge yourself, because I don't know what else uses Dart language. What other framework would use Dart language to program? But if you want to challenge, right? Use Flutter. So Flutter, it seems, yeah, the engine is written by C++, right? You would say the engine is. But you use Dart language to write in Flutter. Language is so confusing. And finally, I would have to say, wow, Google. Wow. I just don't know how to define. It seems too hard for me to think about using Flutter to write a program. I would have to say people would be, yeah, really smart. If I were but I still don't see. I wonder what other developers see in Flutter that makes them like Flutter more than React Native. I know it seems that there are a lot of YouTube videos out there that explains this, but you know, that's one person's perspective. We want to know from like different persons, like different people, many people's point of view. So yeah, if you guys have any thoughts or things you guys want to explain about of why you guys like Flutter more than React Native, feel free. But that's all I that's all I have for Flutter. I don't think I will ever do that right in Flutter. So it seems Wings was probably the most closest. So that's all.